I think that the 04 CR250 is by far the best dirt bike ever made. I know with like all the new KTMs and stuff, you could argue that it's probably not even close to the best bike ever made. But this is the bike that Ricky Carmichael went undefeated on and had probably one of the coolest looking dirt bike setups that I've ever seen personally. And these are legit my favorite bikes. This is my neighbor's bike and I have my own 01 CR250 that I'll show you guys. You know what? I think it's by far the best bike ever made besides the KLX 110. That's probably the best thing that's ever touched this planet. So this is my CR. Obviously it needs a lot more work than this one, but we gotta finish up his first and then we'll start working on mine. The only problem that's occurring with the CR build is the fact that I haven't even started to put my Husky together yet. So I probably should do this first because when I get back to riding in a few months, I'm gonna need a dirt bike to ride. And this is the one I need to ride. The most I've done in 3 weeks is put this little rubber piece back in. As far as I got, guys. Now we did take off a few more parts on the CR here. What I'm gonna do now is run the time lapse I took on my phone for you guys real quick. I mean, frankly, we haven't done that much, but we have a lot more to do on this bike. So I think right now I want to drain the liquids. So the next thing that we're going to do is remove the brake and a little pin back there. So that way we can drain the stuff, take off the hoses, and then we're going to pull the motor out. But a little note for everybody, grab your phone when you're tearing something apart, snag a picture of it. Like, get a good picture so you can see the whole thing that you took apart on the side of the bike. That way when you're putting it together, you always can see what you need to do to get it back together. It's just literally the best way to do it. That way you don't have to worry about losing bolts and stuff. You can literally just grab your picture, zoom in on whatever you want, and you're good to go. We got our essential tools for this little project, so let's get pissed off at it. These little pins are always the death of me. They're just, oh no, they're so annoying. Get off of my wrench. Oh, we're good. Oh. Now we can just pull this out here. There we go. All right, so now that we got that off, we can go ahead and drain our coolant. Now, the coolant is always going to be the bolt with the little copper washer on it. It's usually on the right side of the bike right here. So you want to find that bolt, grab a bucket, and you can drain it. As we got our bucket, we got our 10 mil, and this thing's kind of messed up, and all these bolts look completely different, like they're not in the right spot. So I'm taking a wild guess, and that one right there. It's got the washer. Now it's probably not gonna flow into here because we still have the radiator cap on. You wanna leave this on. So I do have a little paper towel. I'm just gonna set this here. I really don't care if I make a mess, it's just coolant. So we're gonna take this off and hope it's the right one. Yeah, it's stripped, it's the right one for sure. All right, so it's working. So now what you're gonna do is you wanna hold your bucket up to here and then you wanna loosen your cap. And there you go. See? Slow. And bam. All the coolant's out with a very big mess. How is it still dripping? I don't know. I feel like we drained a lot. You know what? The paper towel is working, so we're gonna leave that there. Our little setup worked perfectly. We got our bolt back in there. Now we can start taking off all of the hoses. Oh, it's crazy, guys. I literally just sit out here and work on bikes and kind of chill. I kind of just take this as therapy. And kind of just sit out here. A lot of times I just listen to music, hang out. That's why I don't really get that much done probably, is because I just sit out here and fuck off and kind of just like meditate and feel like a hippie for a little bit. But I don't know, I love this shit and I like working on bikes. I think it's fun. It's kind of hard to work on bikes and film though, because your hands get all dirty and I don't want to touch my camera. So I'm like washing my hands like 100 times. So that's the only part that's a little frustrating, but we're gonna stop bullshitting and work on this thing because I'm already getting distracted. All right, so I was out here, my dad came out here, we were sitting talking, and we kind of thought maybe we could see if the bearings are bad, so we took off the stator cover, took a look at the stator. Stator looked fine. So a while ago, I thought to myself, by the way that he explained it to me, that it sounded like it was the reeds, and we just took the reeds off, and let me show you guys how the reeds came out of this motor. Absolutely insane. All right, so we pretty much just loosened the bolts and we pulled the reeds out, and this is how the top one came out. 2 of the bolts were out, and then this piece just kind of fell off. This side is missing a bolt and it's loose. So this is, the way he explained it to me, the reeds kind of were my first initial thought, and I fully forgot about that. So I'm kind of happy I remembered, but this was off, so the bike shut off and stuttered and whatnot and barely ran. And that's because this thing was loose and kind of just sliding around in here like so, because the bolts were wrong. So it's fucking up all the airflow, which was causing the bike to not run. So I'm happy to know it's the reeds. These things are all stripped out, so we're gonna have to order a new one of these. So I'll talk to my boy Fluffy, and I'll tell him how much it is for a new one, and we'll find which one we wanna buy. I don't know if they can find an OEM one, but this is a Boise one, so I'm sure we can get another one. Could retap them all, but there's like chunks taken out of this, so we're definitely better off getting a new one. This one's a piece of shit. Now, with that being said, from what we can see inside of the motor, the piston looks good. The bearings feel pretty good on the crank, so we should be good. We shouldn't have to pull the top end off. I'm thinking we clean everything up that we took off. We buy some reeds, put it back together, put some nice gas in it, and then we'll see if we could start this bad baby up and see if she runs. There's a few other little things I need to fix, and I'm gonna clean everything for him as well. We'll clean up all the aluminum, the frame, probably clean up the motor the best that we can, and then the swing arm as well. Just get everything looking dialed, but I'm pretty sure the reeds are the problem. Like, the plug doesn't even look that bad, so we'll probably put a new plug in it, new reeds, as I said a million times, and then we should be looking pretty solid. You may be thinking to yourself, dang, you wasted your time taking all that stuff off. Well, guess what? It gave me something to do, and now I can clean it all better.